It feels so good to be here today, and I consider this an important platform to talk about our environment and also my journey towards protecting the environment in the past couple of years. I'll start with a very short story. So, I grew up wanting to be a medical doctor, precisely a gynecologist. I would always say that I wanted to help women. I wanted to be able to, alleviate their pain and also protect the custodians of our future. Now, I'm not sure if, this was because I was born with asthma that could have been prevented during pregnancy, or because I had just become so conscious of my own health and the environment. And I always had the need to ensure that I was able to breathe clean air at any given time. I did not become a doctor. I did not get into med school, but I became a biochemist, studying biochemistry as an undergrad. I had this ambitious plan to, further on to medicine, but that never happened. Now, in the third year of my undergraduate studies, I started thinking about how biochemistry and environmental protection could potentially intersect. I was interested in topics like biofuels, renewables, biotransformation, and the more I learned about the environment, the more I was convinced that I wanted to play a big and important role in protecting and maximizing the benefits the environment had for us, particularly in Nigeria. Now, when I graduated from my undergraduate studies, I did not find a job immediately. And I decided to just volunteer for several environmental organizations. I worked with the government, with startups, just different avenues where I was engaged in a lot of creative and advocacy-based projects. Now, this was about 11 years ago. I was intrigued with how there were so many young people who were not as interested in the environment and in sustainability as I was. I remember times when my mom would call me and she would say, explain climate change to me because I just do not get it. And of course, it was not just about her. It was a Nigerian thing. Environmental issues were not mainstream. And this frustrated me because how can a country progress without advances in renewable energy technology, with increased deforestation, flooding, biodiversity loss, plastic pollution? There was clearly an awareness gap. Now, majority of people in Nigeria at the time simply could not connect the gaps or see how their everyday actions or inaction, as it were, was contributing to the climate crisis, to plastic pollution, and the other environmental issues we faced. Now, having identified this gap, I was determined to do something about it. But I'm a Nigerian, I'm an Ada, the first daughter in an Igbo home, and I needed to get a job at some point. I needed to start supporting my family. This was a cultural and social expectation. So I had to get a job in an e-commerce firm, doing absolutely nothing about the environment, but of course, earning a decent living. And I remember one day, I walked up to my MD and I told him that I had this big idea to work with our company and raise awareness on environmental issues and also women issues in Nigeria. Interestingly, my plan was approved, but at the same time, I felt really unqualified. I was this, biochemist wanting to do something in the environmental space, and I felt that I needed to get an educational degree, a qualification of some sort. And I was determined to pause this big plan with my company, get that education and return. It sounded like a much more exciting plan. So I went ahead and resigned from the company. And to my utter dismay, my student visa was denied and I was back to square one. I was jobless. And the only thing I had was the dream and that passion to really make environmentalism, environmental protection, a big thing in Nigeria. Now I thought to myself, what is the low-hanging thing I could do to achieve my dreams? And so I started a blog. a very short WordPress blog where I was talking about sustainability, climate change, and environmental protection from a young person's point of view. My target audience was, of course, young people. Channeling the power of social media, I created Susty Vibes, and it was bettered as a platform for young Nigerians to make sustainability relatable and actionable. And in 5 years, we have built an ecosystem to inspire and support young people in Nigeria, as well as the private and public sector, in particular, to take charge of preserving the environment. Now, Susty Vibes is a movement that includes young people, educational institutions, and the citizen sector to really advance the systemic approach that is required to build a sustainable Nigeria. Now, what really is a sustainable Nigeria? I believe it's one where there is a responsible harmony among the people, that is Nigerians, our environment, and our economy. One where one part does not have to suffer for the other. Now, to achieve this, Susty Vibes is educating and empowering young people in Nigeria through research, design thinking, capacity building, and most importantly, fun, to drive an agenda that makes us really feel like a part of nature and not apart from it. Now, to realize that we need all hands on deck and a lot of active hope to turn the tides, not just for Nigeria or Africa, but for the entire world. Now, so even if I did not turn out to be a doctor, I'm still actively involved in the slow healing of the earth. And I work with young people, amazing young people, and women in the process through, of course, an ecofeminist theory of practice and working with our community in Susty Vibes. Susty Vibes is a community where young people with a passion for a just world come together to connect and design new ways of living for ourselves and for the planet. Our vision is to build a platform where young people believe in their own innate abilities to transform our world, guided by the principles of gender equality and environmental justice. We are striving to co-create a sustainable future within a thriving planet. At Susty Vibes, we've planted lots of trees, written loads of blog articles, engaged with communities, and discussed ways people can improve and have healthy relationship with their waste. We've trained several young women in the art space using photography as a tool for environmental advocacy. We've set up master classes, street conferences, community cleanups, workshops on sustainability. We've used dance, art, music, and even poetry to raise awareness and scale up action. Now, when I started Susty Vibes as a blog, I had no idea it would turn into this massive movement of young Nigerians who are active agents of hope when it comes to environmental protection. Now, what started as a temporary low-hanging plan has now ushered me into a path to a really fulfilling career. Now, the process of protecting the planet is a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's not always convenient, mostly because it's a deviation from our wasteful consumerist culture in Nigeria and across the world. In working with young people and managing Susty Vibes, there are three things I'm learning about planet protection in general. Now, the first is that there is no action that is too small. Who knew that a blog that I just started on WordPress could ignite a movement of over 500 young people who not only drive action, but are becoming that change we seek, intersecting gender, social justice, policy advocacy into large-scale climate action in Nigeria. Now, the second thing is that sustainability is cool. It's cool to recycle. It's cool to plant trees. It's cool to use less water. It's cool not to be wasteful. Now, by using pop culture to drive this messaging, young people are getting on board with the excitement and engagement that is needed to help them change their own personal habits. Now, I believe this is how we can combat the climate crisis with active hope and believe that our own actions, no matter how small, are cool and are are able to change the tides for sustainability in Nigeria. Now, the third and very important thing is that collaboration is key. All hands must be on deck towards planet protection. We all know that businesses emit a lot of carbon in their production, supply, logistics of goods and services all over the world. So we can't have a solution to the climate crisis that doesn't involve businesses. We need to work with them. We need their investments. We need their own commitments to changing, how they make practices in their supply chain or whatnot. We know that governments drive policies and create enabling environments for NGOs and even businesses to operate. So we need the government to come on board. We need the right policies to drive a low carbon agenda. We need to rethink our economy and how this works with creating harmony with the environment. And we believe that this is how to work at Susty Vibes. We believe that a bifold approach to sustainability must be encouraged, one that tackles both the socio-economic issues and also the environmental issues that are challenging Nigeria side by side. And so today I ask you, what's the one thing you start doing to play your part in planet protection? Is it to recycle? Is it to write more articles? Is it to have discussions? Is it even to check in with yourself on how you are playing a part? Are you supporting climate action or are you adding to the climate crisis? There is no step that's too small, no action that's too small. So I encourage you to join us today. Join us in the Susty Vibes movement and join us in the campaign for a better future. Thank you.